I arrived at the university early on a bright Monday morning. The hallway was very long and filled with many young students. I looked at the room number on my digital invitation card. My heart was beating fast because I was a new student. I entered the classroom and saw many empty wooden desks. A young man with dark hair sat near the large window. He wore a dark red shirt and small stylish black glasses. I chose a seat near him because he looked very friendly. I put my heavy camera bag on the floor next to me. My light blue sweater felt very warm and soft today. Teacher was not in the room at that moment. I looked around and saw many posters about modern art. The sun was shining on the clean white walls of the room. I felt a little bit lonely in this big new place. Then the man in the red shirt looked at me and smiled. He seemed very calm and comfortable in the classroom. I wanted to say hello, but I was too shy at first. I opened my notebook and took out a blue plastic pen. I started to write the date at the top of the page. The man adjusted his glasses and took out his own book. I noticed that he had many interesting sketches in it. He looked like a very creative person with a big imagination. I decided to be brave and introduce myself very soon. Talking to new people is always a great way to learn. I breathed deeply and prepared my first simple sentence. Classroom was getting noisier with more people arriving. Everyone was looking for a place to sit and relax. I liked the atmosphere of this creative photography course. My camera is my favorite tool for exploring the world. I hope to find people with the same interests today. The man turned his head toward me again very slowly. He had a very kind and open expression on his face. I felt more confident because of his friendly energy. Teacher entered the room and put a bag on the desk. She asked us to start the lesson with a small task. We had to introduce ourselves to the person sitting next to us. This was the perfect chance for me to start a conversation. I looked at the man in the burgundy shirt and smiled back. Classroom became quiet as everyone started to talk. My new life in this city was beginning at that moment. I turned my chair slightly to face my new classmate. "Hello, my name is Anna," I said with a quiet voice. The man smiled and put his pen down on the table. "Hi, Anna, I am Victor," he replied very clearly. I felt happy because his voice was very warm and nice. Victor told me that he was from a small town near the sea. I said that I lived in the capital for my whole life. We were both 22 years old and liked the university. I told him that I was very nervous about the first day. Victor admitted that he felt exactly the same way too. It is good to know that other people have similar feelings. We talked about our favorite colors and types of food. Victor likes spicy pizza and cold lemonade in the summer. I prefer green salad and hot tea with a lot of lemon. I saw a small guitar pin on his burgundy shirt pocket. I asked him if he played any musical instruments. He told me that he played the guitar for 5 years. He even has a small band with his best high school friends. That sounded very impressive and very interesting to me. Victor asked me about the big bag on the floor. I explained that I was very passionate about photography. I love taking pictures of old buildings and quiet parks. Victor said that he needed a photographer for his band. We laughed at the idea of working together so soon. I liked that we found common topics so quickly today. Victor had a very good sense of humor and a bright smile. I told him about my dream to travel around the world. I want to capture the beauty of different cultures. Victor shared his dream of becoming a famous graphic designer. He showed me a logo he made for a local coffee shop. It looked very professional and very modern in his book. I was glad to sit next to such a talented person. Teacher walked around the room and listened to us. She looked very happy with our active conversations. I forgot about my shyness and spoke more loudly. Victor was a very good listener and asked many questions. He wanted to know what my favorite camera brand was. I told him the story of my first old film camera. We were no longer strangers in this large classroom. The introduction task was the best part of the lesson. Victor asked me to show him some of my latest photos. I opened my camera and turned on the small bright screen. I showed him a picture of a sunset over the river. Colors were orange, purple, and a little bit of gold. Victor looked at the screen for a long time in silence. "This is absolutely beautiful," he said with a soft voice. I felt very proud and a little bit red in my face. Then Victor opened his sketchbook to a new clean page. He drew a quick and simple portrait of me in my sweater. He used a black pencil and made very fast light lines. In only 2 minutes, the drawing was finished and ready. He showed it to me and I was very surprised by it. The girl in the drawing looked very happy and very brave. I thanked him and asked if I could keep the little sketch. Victor tore the page out and gave it to me with a smile. I put the drawing inside my notebook to keep it safe. We talked about how art helps people to understand life. Victor believes that every person has a unique story to tell. I agreed and said that photos are like silent stories. The teacher stood at the whiteboard and started to speak. She told us that we would work in pairs for the semester. I looked at Victor and he looked at me at the same time. We both knew that we wanted to be a team for this. We wrote our names on a small piece of yellow paper. Our first project was to create a story about our city. Victor suggested using my photos and his graphic designs. This sounded like a perfect plan for a great presentation. I felt very lucky to find such a good partner on day one. We exchanged our phone numbers to talk after the class. Victor's phone had a picture of a cat as a wallpaper. I told him that I had 2 white cats at my home. We shared some more stories about our favorite pets. The lesson was very fast because we were so busy. I didn't look at the clock even once during the hour. My notebook was now full of new ideas and small notes. Victor wrote down some addresses of good photo galleries. He promised to take me to a design exhibition next week. After the class, we went to the university cafeteria. The room was full of the smell of fresh bread and coffee. We found a small table in the corner near the window. Victor bought 2 cups of tea and some sweet biscuits. We sat down and opened our notebooks on the table. We needed to decide which parts of the city to visit. I suggested the old bridge because of the morning light. Victor liked the idea and added the Central Park to the list. He wanted to draw the people who sit on the green benches. I wanted to take photos of the flowers and the fountains. We talked about the colors we wanted to use for the project. Victor suggested a palette of soft blues and warm grays. This matched my photography style very well, I thought. I took my camera out to check the battery and the card. Victor started to sketch a layout for our first poster. He was very fast and very professional with his pencils. I realized that Victor was a very hard-working student. He told me that he practiced drawing every evening at home. I told him that I took photos even when I went to the shop. Passion makes everything easier and much more fun to do. We spent an hour talking about our future presentation. Victor was not afraid to share his thoughts and ideas. I felt very comfortable and respected in our small team. We decided to meet at the park on Saturday morning. The light is usually the best at 8 o'clock in the morning. Victor promised to be on time and bring some snacks. Promised to bring my best lenses for the camera. We felt like real colleagues working on a big mission. My pink notebook was now full of Victor's creative ideas. He had a very interesting way of seeing simple objects. He could find beauty in an old door or a broken window. I learned to look at things from a different angle today. Victor thanked me for being such a great partner so far. I thanked him for his kindness and for the beautiful drawing. Cafeteria was becoming empty as the sun went down. We packed our things and stood up from the small table. I felt a sense of peace and a lot of new energy. My first day was a huge success because of this meeting. We walked toward the exit of the university building. Cool air of the afternoon was very fresh and nice. Saturday morning arrived with a very clear blue sky. I was at the park entrance at exactly 8 o'clock. Victor was already there, sitting on a wooden fence. He wore a warm jacket over his burgundy shirt today. He waved at me and held a bag with some hot coffee. I was very glad to see him and his big friendly smile. We started our walk through the quiet green paths. I took many photos of the trees and the morning mist. Victor sat on a bench and started to draw the landscape. We didn't talk much because we were very focused on art. The silence was very comfortable and very productive for us. I found a beautiful cat sitting under a big oak tree. I took a photo and showed it to Victor immediately. He said the light on the cat's fur was absolutely perfect. He added the cat to his drawing with a few quick lines. We spent 3 hours exploring every corner of the park. My camera was now full of hundreds of new pictures. Victor's sketchbook had 10 new amazing drawings in it. We sat on the grass to eat the snacks Victor brought. He had some cheese sandwiches and 2 red apples. We talked about our families and our childhood memories. Victor has a younger sister who wants to be a dancer. I told him about my older brother who lives in Spain. We discovered that we both love old jazz music and films. Time passed very quickly in the beautiful sunny park. I felt like I knew Victor for a very long time already. A good introduction can lead to a very strong friendship. We looked at our work and felt very proud of our progress. Our project was going to be the best in the whole class. We decided to go to a small cafe to choose the best photos. Victor helped me carry my heavy camera bag to the street. He is a very polite and very caring young man, I thought. I felt very happy that I chose the seat next to him. The city looked beautiful through the lens of my camera. Victor promised to help me with the digital editing later. I promised to help him with the colors for his designs. We were a perfect team of 2 creative and happy people. Park was now full of families and many playing children. We left the green area and walked toward the city center. Saturday was a perfect day for art and for new friends. Tuesday morning came and it was time for our presentation. I was a bit nervous, but Victor held the poster firmly. He told me to relax and just tell our beautiful story. We stood in front of the teacher and all the students. I started to show my photos on the big white screen. Victor explained the design and the sketches on the poster. Everyone was very quiet and listened to every word we said. I saw the teacher smiling and taking some notes in her book. When we finished, the whole class started to clap loudly. It was a very big success for our new creative team. We sat down at our desk and gave each other a high five. Victor looked very happy and his eyes were shining bright. I felt a huge sense of relief and a lot of joy. After the lesson, the teacher came to talk to us privately. She said that our work was very professional and deep. She invited us to show our project at the university gallery. We couldn't believe our ears and we were very excited. This was a dream come true for both of us, I think. Victor suggested going out to celebrate our first big win. We walked out of the building into the warm afternoon. The city looked even more beautiful than it did before. I remembered the first moment I saw Victor in the room. A simple self-introduction changed my whole university life. I was no longer a shy girl with a camera in her bag. I was a confident student with a very talented best friend. We walked toward the local pizzeria to have a big dinner. Victor started to tell a new funny story about his band. I laughed and took a photo of him in the sunset light. This was the best photo I took during the whole week. Captured a moment of true happiness and friendship. I am Anna and I am very happy with my new beginning. My notebook is now full of plans for the next project. Victor is already thinking about a new design for the gallery. We have many more stories to tell together in the future. The streetlights turned on and made the city look like a dream.
Leave a comment under this video and one of you will get 40 English lessons for free.